Hello, everyone. This is Miss Parsons. I am going to go over some of my personal Zoom settings that I have set for my elementary live lessons. In the very recent past couple of weeks, Zoom has made some changes to their settings because of some problems that have arisen from a lot of people using it and some people misusing it. So I just wanted to make this video to help you feel more confident and understand that you can control that. And those types of things don't need to happen or aren't able to happen if you have the settings set correctly. So I'll try to keep it a little short, but just before I get started, if you will see on the right hand side, if something is dark blue, that means I have it turned on. If something is dark gray, it is turned off. And then as you get down to the bottom, you see here it's a light blue. It is turned on, and admin needs to be able have access to change those settings. These are some of the security measures that Zoom has put in place to help limit some of those misuses. So I'll just get started at the top. If at any time you have questions or need to look at the settings again, feel free to pause, rewind, and I will try to go as quickly as possible without being too unclear. So let's get started. Okay, so I am signed into my Zoom account, which is free right now, by the way, so take advantage of that. And I am recording this with Screencastify. If you have not looked into it, please do. It is awesome. It allows you to record your screen. You can do amazing things with it, and your students or coworkers can go back and watch your videos, Google Slides, presentations. You can create sub videos. There's just so many things that you can do with it. So it's also free for the next 60 days. So take advantage, play with it, and have fun. Okay, so settings. On the left-hand side, you'll see there's lots of options here. So we're going to do just settings for now. And then there are these categories of settings. So we're going to start with the scheduling of the meeting. So in each of my meetings, I have it automatically set for my video, the host, and for my participants' videos to start automatically. They can turn them off if they or their parents choose not to use video mode, but because I work with elementary students, it's easier if that is an automatic thing and not something they have to do. I also allow joining of the meeting by telephone or computer audio, which is great for those that may be trying to Zoom around town and get things done or have appointments, but still want their child to participate. Or if you're doing faculty meetings, you can still participate with the others without being in front of a computer with internet access. Now, the downfall for that is you cannot see their video and they cannot see your video, but they can hear the conversation and be a part of the instruction. And you see the next three settings, I have them turned off. I do not allow anyone to join before me, the host, because I am liable for whatever they say and do on that video. I want to be present and not have them visiting or anything else under something that is under the umbrella of the school. I also don't worry about the personal meeting ID settings. You're welcome to read that later. It says only authenticated users can join meetings from web client. This is something that could prove to be a challenge if you're working with younger students. It wants their email to be entered, so I just turned that one off. And there are settings later that I will justify why I turn it off, but you are welcome to leave it on if you would like that reassurance. Now, these next three are things that Zoom has set automatically. These require passwords for any new meetings when you schedule them or instant meetings. But because it requires a password and I'm working with elementary students, I allow the password to be embedded in the link. That way they don't have to remember it, they don't have to type it, they don't have to worry about mistyping it. So for safety, they need this, but for me and for ease of use, I have it automatically in the link. So if they go to our Google Classroom or the email that I sent to invite them, they can get into the class. Okay, I also see that Zoom has required the password if they're joining by phone. If that's the case, then they'll need to look at the email invite for that. Okay, I do not mute participants on entry, but you could choose to do that. And I do have it set up for upcoming meeting reminders. That's great for me and great for the students to help them know, oh, it's time to get on Zoom. Okay, the next setting title is in the meeting, and these are the basic settings. I don't require encryption. I do allow chat, but I do not allow private chat. So anything that is typed in the chat bar goes to all students. I can chat directly with one student and they can send something directly back to me, but they cannot chat with one another, which I have had in the past, and it's very distracting for them and the other students. I do not auto save the chats because I don't see a purpose for it. The recording is there and the chat screen is up on the recording. This is something that I do like, playing the sound when the participant joins or leaves. That just means that when they come into the waiting room, it gives a little doorbell sound. And if I'm already in the middle of a lesson and someone comes late and I'm not seeing it, that sound alerts me, okay, look for that student and allow them to join the meeting. And it's only heard by me, so it's not a distraction to the other attendees. But if you would like, you could choose that doorbell sound to be heard by everyone. Now, when they call by telephone, it asks them to record their name. For instance, if I were calling into a meeting, it would prompt me to say my name. I would say, this is Raven or Raven. It would record it, and then that host would hear my name and know to allow me or not. I do not allow file transfers because I'm working with elementary students, but that is an option you could set. I also don't worry about the feedback to Zoom or the end of meeting experience surveys. I also don't have the control toolbar shown at all times. It could be, and that's a choice if you would like to do it. I do show Zoom windows during screen share, so that just means that I can see the students and I can see what I'm sharing. Now, with the screen sharing settings, I am the only one, or the host is the only one that I give permission to. If I choose to see a student's screen, I can give that permission in the specific meeting, but this is my general settings so that I don't have to remember to turn things off and no one shares something that they shouldn't without permission. This is the second part of that disable desktop screen share from users. So again, they're not allowed to share things unless I give them that permission. This annotation is something that is a great tool, but I turn it off so that I have to give permission. Annotation just means that the students can write on the screen, which is a great thing if you're doing something like spelling, or you want them to draw something or circle something. But I have it turned off so that not every student can do it all at the same time. I can give permission in the meeting for one student to be able to do that, the annotation and the whiteboard. Now, this remote control is one of my favorite features of Zoom. It just means that I can give one participant control of the mouse at a time. So what this means for me as an elementary teacher, this has opened up so many options with this virtual classroom that I can look and find online learning games and play with my students. Instead of telling them, go here and play this afterwards, I can go and show them and walk them through and then give them control of the mouse and help them when they feel that something's a challenge, or cheer them on when they did a good job. And because you can only give it permission to one student at a time, it's a great motivator for the others to watch and see and learn, because they really learn from each other just as much as they learn from me as the teacher. So that's one of my favorite settings. The nonverbal feedback is an option you could turn on. It just means that they can clap. There's a little emoji, things like that, but I don't have it turned on because it can be a distraction. This one here says allow remove participants to rejoin. So this is something where if someone has done something in the meeting and I have removed them from the meeting, because as the host, you have that option, this asks if they can join back in. And I have it set as no, because that would happen automatically if if I didn't have my waiting room set up. But because I have my waiting room set up, I have that says no, but I can still override it if I choose to. For instance, if a student is misbehaving or there's something going on in the background that the other students don't need to see or hear, I can give a verbal warning and say, okay, I need you to do this or not do this. If it happens again, then you'll have a 5-minute removal from class, and then you can try again. So other settings that I have allow participants to rename themselves. That's something you can choose or not choose. That's up to you. You can allow them to upload a profile picture so that when they're not sharing their screen with you, you see their picture. That's again optional. Now we're down in the in-meeting advanced settings. So this one is give host option to report participants to Zoom. I have this turned on, but I work with elementary students, so I don't see this being a problem. But with all of the safety things that they have implemented, I think it's just something, leave it on there. If something happens, someone that's not supposed to be in there, and there's something going on that I've already set the settings against, then I would want to report that to Zoom so that they could fix it. I don't worry with the breakout room, but I do have remote support. So that means that me as the host can provide one-on-one support with another participant. I don't have closed captionings or saving the captions or allowing anyone else to control my camera. I do allow them to use virtual backgrounds if they choose, unless it becomes a distraction, then I can always turn it off. And you can see that I have a lot of these other settings turned off. I won't read them because you can do that. But down here is important. So the waiting room option is something that I've referred to in the past. It says when attendees join a meeting place, it places them in a waiting room and requires the host to admit them individually. So this is great because this doesn't allow those attendees to join before I get there, but it does give them a screen that says waiting on host. And if I am in the middle of the lesson, I get that doorbell, I click enter, and it allows them to join. But it just doesn't allow them to join before me, but it doesn't make them unable to be ready when I'm ready for them. So, for instance, if a student or a mom wants to get the student on a few minutes early, she can do that, but I'm not going to join until the meeting time. And so the student's set up ready to go. All I do is press enter, and then they're ready to come in. This one is also very important. The show a join from your browser link. The school district that I work for gave the students Chromebooks to take home. But there are firewalls and settings on the Chromebooks that don't allow them to download anything. So this is the way around that. If you have someone that's using a computer Chromebook that has something against downloads, this is the workaround. So they get the same email invite as everyone else, and they click join meeting or they click the URL link, and then it gives them open Zoom or download. At the bottom in blue, it is kind of small, it says start from your browser. So what I did was I took a screenshot of that and circled start from your browser and sent it to my parents that were having that struggle. And now it's not a problem at all. They don't have to download anything. They just join the meeting by following those steps. Okay, this is also important, the email notifications. This gives me an email when an attendee joins the meeting before me, and it also sends emails to the students or attendees if I cancel the meeting. So this is important for them to send me an email for two reasons if they join before me. The first is I'm holding meetings back to back to back. So if I am going a little over on one, but a student has joined the next one, that's that instant reminder, because I have it, my emails on my phone. It comes through and says, oh, so and so is waiting for you in this meeting. So I would politely end my conversation with the other student or mom, and I would exit that meeting and go to the next one. The other one is sometimes parents use those links to get in touch with me if their child is struggling with something. So if I am available and not in another meeting and I get that email that says so and so has joined your live lesson, I can open and admit that parent or student and answer the questions that they have. So it's just another option and a communication tool. Don't worry about any of this blurring the snapshot. I use English. I don't allow anyone else to schedule any meetings or anything like that. So sorry guys if this was a little long. I hope that it helps, and I will be posting more videos about Zoom and Screencastify to help you not only with the settings, but how to use it once you're in there and what you see when you do. Okay, nice to have you join me. Come back for more information and feel free to comment or email me if you have other videos that you would like me to make. Thank you for coming.